If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have the Crochet Boss himself, Maurice Greene, back on the show. He returns to action later on this month, October 26th, in Singapore, taking on Sergey Pavlovich, the number 13 ranked Maurice Greene, back on the program. How are you, man?
Oh, man, I'm good. I'm feeling healthy. Don't feel overtrained. Camp's going great. Now I'm ranked, but I feel like there's a lot of question marks behind that ranking, and I got to go out and prove my ranking on October 26th.
Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel like there's question marks there?
I strung together 3 wins, but it wasn't like one of those wins that I felt like right after I get ranked. It makes sense to rank me. I have probably one of the longest winning streaks in the heavyweight division. I gave him a little bit of everything. So I understand why I got ranked, but in my head, I want them to know why I'm ranked. I want the whole heavyweight division to know why I'm ranked. They didn't just put me there for no reason. I got to show them why they put me there. So that's just kind of how I feel. That's how I'm going to do that every fight. Every time my ranking moves up, that next fight is going to show them, well, you know why I'm number 5. Now you know why I'm the number 1 contender. And then finally they'll say, well, we know why he's the champion. So
that makes sense.
It'll never stop.
Is that something you've always done? Is that something you've always done throughout your athletic career?
Yeah, because you can't just be – I'm not satisfied being 13. It's a great accomplishment. It's off my bucket list. But, there's a couple other things on that bucket list, like single digit, like letter, So I got to check one thing off my bucket list. Now it's time to check a couple more things off, and the one that comes with that gold shiny strap with some rubies on it.
Are you a big believer in the rankings? I mean, it's nice to see that number next to your name, but some fighters don't pay attention or care about the rankings at all. Others are all about the ratings because it sets up for bigger fights down the road. Where do you sit on everything in terms of the rankings?
I think the rankings are absolutely right. Like, it kind of helps me see who I want to fight and who I want to call out, because I'm not going to call out somebody who's not ranked. It's just stupid. Like, why would you take steps backwards when we're trying to take steps forward? So it gives me an idea of, what competition I'm calling out. And, I'm always going to call somebody out after my fight. It's, if I can weasel my path to the title, I will. But if the UFC makes those decisions, then they make those decisions. But I'm not going to not put my name in the hat to fight who I want to fight.
Now you get Sergey Pavlovich in Singapore, so you get to take a nice long plane ride for your 4th UFC fight. How do you like the fact that you get to travel and check out the world? Is that something you've always wanted to do?
Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do. It's tough. It's tough when you travel as far as your bank account is concerned, because there's a lot of things that you cover on the back end to get there. So it's really important that I go out there, put on a fucking show, let Dana White make me who's important. The Crochet Boss is here. I've arrived, and it's time to give me those high level fights that come with that high level. I'm trying to build a retirement plan here. I ain't trying to go back to work. I burned the boats, like my coach said. I burned the boats. The boats are fucking burned. I have to go through everybody to get to the top of that mountain. Get my face fucked up to do it.
Do you know much about Sergey? I mean, obviously he came in.
Do I know much about him? I looked at his fight. I watched his fights. Go ahead, finish.
No, I was just going to say, because obviously he came in, he fought Alistair Overeem, got the win over Marcelo Golem back in April. So when you're presenting a matchup like this, especially when you look at the rankings, probably when you got the matchup, he probably wasn't a ranked guy. But now if you look at the rankings.
Neither one of us were.
Yeah, now he's 14.
Neither one of us were ranked. Correct. Neither one of us were ranked, but there were some shifts in the heavyweight division given the fights that just happened, which kind of, he's a power puncher. Like, he's a power puncher. That's great. That's what every heavyweight in the heavyweight division does. They're power punchers. That's awesome. I'm a sniper. Okay? I am a sniper. So you better hope that your power punches hit me before I start sniping your ass. So, I mean, if I sit here and watch his videos and try to structure a game plan around him, I'm only playing his game. He's going to play my game. There's nothing that he does that concerns me, right? I'm aware and all of that, but I'm also on point. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to go out and beat him off field. I'm sure I'm fucker to do that.
How has the training camp been going? Have you
just Factory X, everything the Factory X? We got a group of awesome coaches, a great leader, and even more so, great training partners. I've had a great camp, feel trained. I feel like I'm right where I need to be. I'm right where I need to be at this stage of the game, and we're ready to go in there and take the UFC heavyweight division by storm. And I literally mean take it by storm. What Israel did, right? I'm doing the same thing. I said I want a title fight by the end of 2020, early 2021. So I'm going to work my ass off to get that fight.
What do you think of the state of the heavyweight division right now? We've got DC and Stipe. They're about to wrap things up at some point. That fight's going to happen eventually. Then we got Walt Harris, we got Alistair Overeem, they're going to fight, and there's always movement and some shaking going on in the heavyweight division. Where do you think you stack right? I mean, obviously you look at it in terms of the rankings, but with your skill set, the team behind you, the coaching staff, sort of the strength of schedule you've been able to put together, the impressive wins you've had, where do you think you stack up with the upper half of this division right now?
I feel like I'm right in the mix. And I feel like every other heavyweight, even though they won't say it out of their mouth, they know I'm on their ass. So, like Moneybag Yo said, I'm on their ass like some Huggies. That means I'm real close. It's just one of those things where I feel like, especially after watching like Stipe and DC fight, I felt that confidence. Like, God damn, I can compete with these guys now. It's not a dream anymore. This shit is my reality. And if you let that name of who you fighting deter, like, oh my gosh, I'm fighting, whoever. I'm fighting Mark Hunt. I'm fighting Alistair Overeem. It's going to fuck you up. Take the name, like, Coach Mark said, they don't mean nothing once they close that door. And you just go out there and you fight, man. You fight. At the end of the day, this is a fight. It don't matter what you look like on paper. It matters who shows up that night to fight. So I will show up that night to fight, and I'll be more than healthy and in great spirits. I'm always to get mad at my opponent. This is just what we do. It's all respect. It's all love. But, yeah, I want to hurt you. So, and he wants to hurt me too. So this is just the feeling's mutual.
When it comes to watching those big fights, the DC Stipes and things like that, watching those guys at the top of the division, do you watch it as a fan? Do you get into it as a fan, or do you look at it as a confidence booster for you? You watch their style, you watch them fight, or is it a combination of the two?
No, I break it down. I kind of look at their footwork. I kind of look at the exchanges. When I watch fights, I watch them way differently now. I've always watched them way differently ever since I started doing mixed martial arts. But even more so now, I'm just clocking. I'm looking. I'm trying to see where a weakness is if I fight him one day. And it could be a while down the road, but the more and more you watch these guys, right, the more and more you start to understand, what they do. So I'd like to think that I'm one of the standalones, meaning there's nobody else nobody's on my level when it comes to what I do. There's a lot of heavy power punchers. There's a lot of good wrestlers. There's some good strikers. I don't think there's too many people that can mix it all the way up, though. I got from the UFC in 3 fights. I gave him a decision when I was out of shape. It's a close split decision. They got a TKO or a knockout, and they got a submission from my back. So they got a little bit of everything. So yeah, I just feel like everybody should. All the other heavyweights, they know. They just don't want to say it. Some just don't want to say it, but they know.
So they're just watching you. They're hoping you fall back a little bit here.
I mean, maybe. No, I don't think they're hoping I fall back. They want to fight me, but they want to wait till I get there, So I could fight anybody. I really feel that way. Anybody in the top 9. Okay, anybody in the top 9, because I'm going for a single digit after this fight. So anybody in the top 9 will tickle my fancy.
What do you have to do to get that single digit number next to your name on October 26th? Is it just going out and getting a win? Do you have to get a finish?
No.
How does that happen?
No, it's not getting a win. It's looking impressive. Now, me looking impressive could be me piecing him apart for 3 rounds. It could be me knocking him the fuck out. It could be me submitting him. Whatever me looking impressive is, that's what it is. You know, 0 for 3. I haven't picked up a bonus yet in the UFC, and I felt like in 2 of my 3 fights I could have earned a bonus and I didn't. So hopefully the third time's a charm. Like I said, I'm doing this to change my family's life. You know, I grew up broke. You know, not super broke, but broke. You know, we grew up with less than the average bear. So I'm trying to kids that dreams do come true with hard work.
That's awesome. And when did you sort of kind of change that mentality, or have you always sort of had that mentality when it comes to, you know, setting those kinds of goals, taking care of your family? Because a lot of people get in the fight game because they want to compete, like they miss competition. Others do it because they want to make money, they want to change their family's lives. Have you always used martial arts or hoped that you would take you being in the sport to take care of your family, or did something sort of shift along the way where you realize, like, this is what I have to do, this is what I can do to change my family's lives?
No, nothing ever shifted because I got real serious when my fiance was pregnant with our son, who's 8 now. So that's always been first and foremost. I mean, the biggest thing was I was working when I was doing this. In 1 foot out, you know. It's hard to dedicate everything when you got a full-time job. And then I took that leap of faith, you know, and burned it. And, you know, I'm damn near going broke to get through my camp and to get to the fight. But this is the game to be successful. You know, unfortunately, this is the game. The job, I would not be as good as I am now. You know, I've been able to focus for the past 2 years on my craft. And, you know, everybody's starting to see that. You know, I believe in the whole saying, burn the boats. It makes total sense. Once I put lead to them boats, which was my job, you know, I've had nothing but a clear focus on the task at hand. So that's going to always be my focus. You know, these guys out here making $2-3 million, you know, they're making, run that. Let me get that, you know, run that with the marketing behind it. And let me get a chunk of that. What's popping, you know, the Crochet Boss is here to stay. I'm here to make my mark in the heavyweight division and, you know, run it up to the title. You know, it's not going to be easy. You know, these guys they're elite. They're the best in the world. But I'm becoming elite. I'm being one of the best in the world. There's no reason why I can't compete with them.
How important is it to have that family support, to have the woman in your life, the mother of your children, support you, understand what you're going through? Because that's very hard to do in this sport. It's very hard to find somebody like that.
It's tough, man. It's tough. You know, we have our trying times. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy on me. You know, it looks I get to train, and it's not easy on me. It's harder on her. You know, she has 2 kids in the home. Both the kids are in school. There's school activities, and usually it's both of us doing it. So, you know, all that goes on her shoulders when I'm gone for 6 or 7 weeks. You know, the kids miss dad and things like that. But she knows why we're doing this. You know, she knows why we're doing this. She understands why we're damn near going broke each time. So I can get to the fight and perform in hopes of, you know, getting that contract that has all those dollar signs next to it, so we can really, really, you know, there's still some recovery things that, you know, I just simply don't have the money for, you know, but in due time, we'll have the money to do all that recovery, and then they'll see another version of the Crochet Boss, you know. Maybe to be 2.0. Maybe this is 1.0. I don't know.
Well, I think 1.0 is doing pretty darn good right now, if that's where we're at right now. That's just where where I sit at this point. How's the new tattoo doing? That tattoo story has stuck out of my mind since the last time we spoke.
Oh, yeah?
Your tattoo, the wife's tattoo. I mean, the story was hilarious.
We still got to get hers. We're going to get hers after this fight.
After this fight.
But the tattoo's healed. The bacon, hopefully we can hit Sergey with one of these knees. The left one preferably that says bacon, so he knows that I'm bringing home the bacon. That's the one I use. So, but the wife, she's like, get hers. She's get her fight when I get back from the fight. But that's like our couples tattoo. Nobody ever knows couples tattoo because it's just a pig that says bacon and hers will say pork and beans. So, but that kind of signifies what we do, man. You know, I make the money, I bring home the bacon, and she takes care of the pork and beans, both of our children. So,
I love that.
you know, it's teamwork. It's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. And not only the teamwork in the gym makes the dream work, you need that. You need a strong support system on the back end to really make it work. Because if you're stressing about other things, right, then your craft is going to, you know, meet my performance will suck because I have all that other stuff in my head.
I couldn't agree more. Maurice Greene, everybody. He's getting ready to take on Sergey Pavlovich, October 26th in Singapore. UFC on ESPN Plus 20. Looking forward to this fight. Looking forward to the card. Maurice, always appreciate talking to you, my man. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on the web, social media. We got any sponsors to shout out, any other shout outs in general. The floor is yours, sir.
First and foremost, shout out Balance CBD, man. They sent me my care packages from Minnesota to make sure, you know, I could get over these bumps and bruises and, you know, feel a little better daily, mentally, have everything. Shout out Trifecta. You know, the UFC partnered with Trifecta. I'm getting Trifecta meals, and that's really changed my body, and I'm really appreciative to that. Throwing research for the supplements, the NSF certified for sport, just taking those proper steps and not drop dirty on that test. And, you know, shout out my fiance. How about she's my sponsor too? Shout out Kaya for just being a rock for me, you know, while we go through all this, because it's not easy. I can say it a million times. It's not easy. Special person, it takes special support system behind you to make it happen. And, you know, these dreams are coming true.
Love to hear it, Maurice. Looking forward to the fight at the end of the month. Thank you for the time as always.
Hey, man, anytime, Mike. Anytime you want to do something, you know I'm always here. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me today. Thank you so much.
You're the man, Maurice. Thank you.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you where to find me on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, all you got to do, people, Google the Crochet Boss. That's why it says the. There's the one and only. That's me, the Crochet Boss on Instagram, the Crochet Boss on Twitter, the Crochet Boss. You'll be following a future champ. I got a couple more steps, a couple more stairs to climb before I get there. But I promise you that belt will be wrapped around my waist and new one day. Right now, we're just going to get through Sergey and move on to the next challenge.
There you go. Maurice Greene, everybody. Looking forward to the fight. Best of luck to you, sir. We'll see you out there.
Thank you so much, Mike. Have a wonderful day.